welcome back to Blue Heart Crochet. Today I'm going to be doing a craft and chat. So get whatever project you're working on at the moment, sit down, grab yourself a drink and we'll sit and chat for a bit. My drink of choice at the moment is a bit of fresh orange from the fridge. Got mine over here. And then I am working on a sock. It's absolutely roasting hot today. So yeah, but I thought I'd come and film this video to sort of give an update to long-term subscribers of my channel, as where I've been over the past 3 weeks, and also a bit of a chat as I've noticed quite an influx of new subscribers, particularly over the last few days. So, welcome to the channel. My name is Abby. I live in a city in the northwest of the UK called Liverpool. I live with my family, my mum. I've got a mum, dad, 2 amazing sisters, one older, one younger, and then 2 absolutely adorable little nieces. They don't all live in the same house with me. I'm also a carer for a relative with a disability. Also disabled myself. I am autistic, and then I'm a history nerd. I'm a tour guide. That's what I do for work, and I also enjoy watching football, so soccer over here in the UK for anyone who's across the pond. But it's, I say enjoy very loosely. At the moment it is very tense. We may be getting relegated for the first time in 69 years, I want to say it is. So yeah, not too good at the moment, but yeah, that's where we are at. But I thought I'd come on, have a little chat with you all today and just let you know what's been going on with life, because it has been a hectic couple of weeks, and just chat to everyone who's new and sort of get to know you all. Let me know down in the comments what you are working on. I'm always crafting along when I'm watching people on YouTube, so let me know what you're working on. I am working on a knitted sock for the Walking with Ukraine sock make along. I believe it's running until the 30th of June, and you don't have to finish. You just have to be able to like fit the sock on your foot any way you can, and that. So go and check out for more details about it. It's getting run by 3 creators: Jeanette of Crafty Clegs, Karen of Stitches and Jacks, and Alex of My Yarny Corner. So feel free to check out that if you like creating socks. Yeah, that's what I'm working on at the moment, because it is my sock knitting day. But yeah, so what have I been up to? Well, it's been a crazy couple of weeks in the fact that people have been ill. So the person that I care for, I'm not going to go into too much details with them, but they were basically having a flare-up of their conditions, and you know, that's why I care for them, because of these conditions. And with the flare-up, it just means I'm having to do a lot more things for them than they'd normally need help with, and so it took up a lot more time. I've still got to do the normal things I've got to do in a day: go to work, do, you know, chores around the house, keep things looking normal around here, and then like, also on top I'm having to do things for them. I do not like being a carer. Is not fun because you in any way, and you know, it's not enjoyable as in a sense of you are seeing you know, someone you love in pain and things like that. However, it's a job I wear with pride. You know, I want to be able to help this person where I can and look after them where I can. I'm able to do it, so I want to do it. So that is, you know, that was a long week. And then the next week, Buddy got injured. I forgot to mention at the front, we have 2 dogs, Buddy and Charlie. Quite often when I'm sat on the floor, they, which is where I normally film, because it's quite easier for me to prop like the camera and stuff up on the couch, and for me to film on the floor. And Buddy and Charlie make appearances all the time. They love to be the centre of attention. Charlie normally tries to like get on my knee and want stroking, whereas Buddy will start rolling around in the background and just making a mess effectively. So yeah, there's the two dogs. Charlie's Cavalier King Charles and Buddy's a Bichon Frise. So as I said, Buddy got injured. So what happened was, I was on the phone, I rang my dad up and I was like, I've just finished work, because the time I finish work can vary each day. Even when I go in, you know, my time could be ending at X time, but I could end up staying later, I could end up, you know, leaving early. So I rung him, I was like, listen, on my way home now, I'll see you hopefully in about an hour or so-ish. Depends whether the bus decides to show up. So yeah, normally do that, and everything was fine on the phone. And then I got home and I walked in and everyone just looked so miserable and like depressed, and I made the wrong comment. I said, I just came in and was like, what's going on here? Who's died? You know, that sort of comment sort of thing. And immediately my sister's head just like darted to me, and my brother-in-law burst out laughing and was like, maybe Buddy. And I'm like, what? So anyway, what had happened is, as my dad was opening the door to put something out in our bins outside, Buddy and Charlie ran past him, and we live on a walkway with a road at the bottom. It is a dead-end road, so it's supposed to be a quiet road. However, people who live at the other end just dart around the corner and zoom down. I say people who live on that end because people who live on this end are mindful of the fact that, you know, they've nearly been hit a couple of times when walking out these walkways, because people are not, you know, paying attention, and they're normally parking up this side of the road anyway. Digress. But yeah, so my dad got to the end of the path and he saw Buddy and Charlie had crossed the road onto the walkway opposite us, and Buddy was limping. So you can imagine our worst fear was that Buddy has been hit by a car and they've not stopped. That was what we were thinking at the time. So my sister took him to the vets, and it turns out we don't think he was hit now. So he's pulled a ligament in his back leg, his back right. Like, he's pulled a ligament there, and basically it trying to think of the words now. So it can happen, like with a human, it has to happen with trauma. However, with a dog, it can happen as they're running around anyway. So it could have happened in the house. It just so happened the time it went was this time when he got out. So it was nothing to do with that. So we have so we've had to have a discussion about what we were doing, whether we're going to go for surgery for him or not, and we've opted for no surgery. And that is a combination of his age, and he'd have to be immobilised for, you know, months. And because of his age, we're thinking, you know, we don't want him to spend what could possibly be some of the last months out of his last year or so of life spent, you know, not being able to move. So he's been on rest and on pain meds, and that he is a smaller dog, so that does help in the recovery of it. It's easier for smaller dogs to recover from an injury like that than bigger dogs without surgery. He is, as I said, on the meds. Within 24 hours of the incident and of him starting the meds, he was back to his old self, like personality wise, in the sense of, like, you know, like I'd be, you know, demanding strokes and all that sort of stuff. He was back to Buddy, basically, and he's doing very well. So we are now a couple of weeks away from the injury. He is walking. When he's walking like around the house, he will walk on 4 paws. sorry, that's my phone. When he's walking around the house, he will walk on 4 paws. However, when he is running around and wants to start going fast, he hops on 3. So he's doing good, and that is what the vets would have expected. We've spoke to him and said, you know, can we get things like a brace for him and stuff like that. They've advised no, as it might hinder the recovery of the leg. Like, you know, getting him to hold it in an unusual position. Here he's learning how to use it again and how to balance on it again. So yeah, so he's supposed to be on rest, so obviously we can't stop him when he starts running around and having a little play with Charlie. However, if he wants to get up on our laps, we'll lift him up. Sometimes he doesn't wait for us to bend over to lift him up. He'll just go, no, jump up, and little bugger. If we're going, you know, when we're taking him up to bed, I'll carry him up the stairs. So yeah, he's doing good in himself. As I said, he's happy in himself. He's just came in now and he is walking on 4 paws because he's walking at normal pace. So yeah, he's doing good in that sense. And then my health problems kicked off after that. So we've had a bit of a mix with my problems. So I'm under investigation for gastro problems, and they've narrowed it down to 3 possible conditions. 2 are more serious than the other, and at my last test results I was in the less serious range of that condition, but it could have, they said it could have just been a normal day, and that's why I was lower and still have the more serious. They wanted to get another test done to see if it is in fact, you know, whether, you know, my results are higher at times, or whether it is, that's the accurate level, or whether that was a low day or high day or whatever. So they've done the tests again, and these results came back higher, and they came back as being well into the level of what they normally say for the 2 more severe medical conditions. I'm not going to start throwing names of the medical conditions, because although these are what my, like, you know, family doctor GP are saying if they think it is, until we've like got scans done and stuff like that, we can't actually confirm it. And yeah, I've got a gastro appointment in, it's either June or July. So when I go to either of them, I'll yeah, basically hopefully get more insight. And I don't want to start naming things without actually having my phone again. I'm just going to turn it on silent, and hopefully yeah, that will help. But yeah, so that's where we're at on the sense of like trying to keep things like that. I don't want to mention anything in case it's not definitive and I'm coming back and going, oh no, it's not XYZ, it's actually this. So yeah, that's why I'm not naming anything at the moment, but that is where we are. I've got the gastro appointment, as I said, but yeah, so the result came back and it was higher than we expected, and I was already going through like a depressive episode, and that just sort of added to it a bit. I have recurrent depressive disorder, so basically I just keep getting bouts of depression for the rest of my life. It's something that's gonna happen, and yeah, it's just about dealing with it. So it's been exacerbating this bout of depression I've had. And then Monday just gone, so today I'm filming this, it is Monday the 22nd, so it'll have been Monday the 15th. I got a call off someone from my community mental health team. The call was not great. I'm not going to go into too many details. Basically, we've had to put in a complaint about the service, about what's happened with my care. They've messed up quite a lot of things, including like my medication and stuff like that. So we, like in the past, so we put in this complaint, and this is the follow on from it. Basically got told, you know, well, my complaint can't be as bad as what I'm making out, even though a member of staff at that service said to me that they thought this service was doing me more harm than good, but then my claims are apparently unfounded. but they're not, because we've got the proof, because a lot of the proof hinges on the fact that, you know, we've got this letter off a doctor that is completely a load of rubbish, and we know it's a load of rubbish because, like, you know, it says things that have never happened and I would not have said happened. So yeah, because I immediately rung them up and was like, I need this correcting about this letter and that. So that set off another wave. The community mental health team have been absolutely no help at all. It got to the case where I was speaking to another service. So like, you have the community mental health hub that is supposed to take care of people who are under mental health services regularly, but then there's also an urgent care line for people who are not under mental health services, where they can get a bit of advice, help, where to go and speak to for guidance and stuff like that. So I rung these up and I said, listen, I know it's not your job, I said, but this is what's happened, explain the whole issue. And they apparently have wrote to my community mental health team saying this is not okay what's happened, and they also wrote to my GP saying, listen, can you actually do anything to help this girl? We know this is not your duty and you're not supposed to, because the reason I'm under the mental health team is because I need more specialist care than what a GP has done. Like, you know, they have done X amount of years in medical school and stuff like that. However, the psychiatrists are the specialists in this issue and they'll know more about what medications do what interact with that. So the GP gave them their due. They contacted me back within an hour of getting this email off the urgent care team, and they within 10 minutes understood my issue. They've tried to give me a treatment plan and they said they're gonna, you know, contact the mental health team and say this needs to get approved and stuff like that. And you know, they wanted the basically what they wanted. So the GP was giving me this course of treatment, however, as they're not the specialists, they needed it to get the green light from the community mental health team. However, as they thought, we don't know when we're going to get back from the community mental health team, they have given me it to go with now, and you know, once the green light goes, it'll go on my records then, as you know, permanent stuff like that. So yeah, that has obviously not been great, and as a result I've had to take some time off work. I want to say my boss has been absolutely phenomenal with this all. This is the first time I've had to take time off work sick, because I started this job in February, and I contacted my boss one day when this happened, rung up and said, listen, you know, can you put me on like easier duties this week because of, you know, everything that's going on. And she said she'd only bring me in if absolutely necessary. So she brought me in on Thursday because they did need that extra member of staff in. And then on Thursday I spoke to her and she said on the days I was supposed to be in this week, they can do it, they can work without me. There's enough staff in that they could cover what needs doing. So she told me to take this week off as well. So yeah, boss has been absolutely amazing with it and I'm so thankful for it. And yeah, I am starting to slowly feel a bit better. Just getting head around things. It's just, head sometimes feels like mush, but hey ho. There has been some good over the past couple of weeks though. So as I said at the beginning, I live in Liverpool, and Liverpool, we're hosting the Eurovision Song Contest in May, the beginning of May. It's like the second week in May basically, or something around then. But what it is so there's the Eurovision Song Contest. Last year the winner was a Ukrainian band and the UK came in second. Now obviously because of everything that's going on in Ukraine were not able to safely hold this song contest, so it was chosen that the UK would host it on their behalf. And so yeah, Liverpool got chosen to host it, which I'm going to probably be a bit biased in saying, like, you know, I think we were a good choice, but it's rooted in facts. Liverpool have had more number ones than any, like, by artists from the city than any other city in the entire world. So I think it was a very good choice, because we do have that really big musical heritage in the city. And so yeah, and it was absolutely fabulous. For that whole week it felt like the city was just in a massive party, because where I'm a tour guide, it's in the city centre. We were right by the fan village, so I got to go into the fan village a few times during work, to do some promo. Also, you know, it was just the atmosphere. We got, you know, everyone was around in a really good mood. It was really lovely. And then on one of my days off that week, I went out with my family, me, my mum, my older sister. We went to go and see the fan village and experience what was going on in the city. We're lucky, we've had a lot of things going on in the city over the past, like, you know, few decades, certainly during my lifetime growing up. We've sort of started having more events going on, and not just like things like music events, but like giant puppets coming into the city and stuff like that. So yeah, we wanted my nieces to be able to experience, like, and be able to, you know, have those memories of going to the Eurovision fan village and taking part in the events that were going on. So we took them out on one day. We had an absolute blast. We got into the fan village, and it was like a local band playing. I've never heard them before, and they're not my style of music, to be honest. But we went up, and someone who was with us needed to sit down, so that we went to the accessibility viewing platform so that they could sit down and, you know, weren't in constant pain. And my oldest niece, who was 5, tapped me on the side, and she said, please, can we go near the front? So I said to my niece, come on, let's go. So we went down, and I just said, listen, as long as there's a gap, you can go in that gap, and we can go as close as we can by going through the gaps. So we're not allowed to, like, stop pushing people out the way, or, like, you know, getting in front of people. But if there's a gap, go ahead, it's fair game. And my oldest niece, she was like, that's it, we're going. And she got through loads of gaps, and we ended up right by the front, and the girls loved it. They're 5 and 3, and they were just dancing around. They absolutely loved it. And yeah, it was so fun. Just, they had an absolute ball. So yeah, it was lovely, and it was great getting to, you know, experience those things with, you know, my family, and, you know, with the girls, and those memories. Because there are things that, like, you know, I can remember going to the events when I was growing up that we had in the city, and it's lovely to now see them getting to experience that sort of thing. So it's not all been totally a bit of a bummer. There have been some really good times in it, mostly with Eurovision. I am not even normally a Eurovision fan. However, that week it just felt like such a party, and it was absolutely fab. And I hope we did a good job for Ukraine. It was like that constant reminder though of, like, you know, we're, you know, doing so well as a city and benefiting from this, but at the same time we are benefiting because there is a country in Europe that is currently getting invaded and occupied. And, you know, we had like these exhibitions around the city, so there was some statues that were like, had sandbags put up around them, a bit like what's happening in Ukraine. On the bus into where I go to work, there was like these photos on the wall of like home, and it was, you know, pictures of people evacuating from home, and what life was like, you know, escaping from Ukraine, and, you know, having to leave home. And, you know, it is that stark reminder. But yeah, so there was always that, you know, reminding of why this is here. But at the same time, we were very lucky to host it here in Liverpool, as I know there was a lot of other places in the UK that wanted to host it and bidded for it. But yeah, so that's what has been going up. So I want to thank everyone for coming over to this channel. I really appreciate it. As I said, I've noticed a little influx over the past few days, up to a week, and I really appreciate people coming over to chat to me, and I love this community online. Honestly, there's no better place than this community. I've genuinely felt that, and I do say that a lot. I feel very lucky and blessed to be able to be part of this community and to have met so many amazing people, and I'm glad I create these videos because I comment a lot with people. Like, I'll chat with people who comment on my videos, and I'm getting to know them and getting to know like what they enjoy creating and getting ideas and inspiration of them, even though they're not creating content themselves. And that's why I love doing it, because I've got that, I can interact with content creators, but at the same time I'm interacting with the people who don't create videos as well, and it's so lovely, and it's absolutely wonderful to meet so many amazing people. So I need to count and see how many rows I am on with this sock. This sock should not be too far off finished, I don't think so. As you can see, I've done the toe, got up to the heel. If you have a look on the back here, I do I've been putting pins every 10 rows, and so I need to sort of count here and put some pins in so I know where I am, and when I finish it, it'll be easy for me to then do the opposite sock to totally match. Because what I'll do is, as I finish like 10 rows, I'll remove the pin off this, put it on the other, and that's why when I know there's no more pins left, that's, you know, I know how many rows I've done. So if there's like no more pins here on the finished sock, I know I've done the foot. I need to go onto the heel then. So yeah. But anyway, I hope you're all having a wonderful day, staying safe and taking care. Let me know what you have been working up to, and let me know what type of crafts you enjoy if you're new here, because I love to get to know you all. I primarily crochet, knit, and I've been doing quite a lot of cross stitch recently. So yeah, I try and upload Monday, Wednesdays, and then do a craft catch up on Friday. So stay tuned if you want to see what I've been working up on Friday. Take care, stay safe, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye.